Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 4. Let me start off by saying, I know I promised you guys that I would give Mia until Episode 5 to make a final judgment call on whether I like her or not. But the way she acted in this episode, I think it's fair for me to make this judgment call an episode earlier. Miss Mia, I have tried to give you the benefit of the doubt. Yes, I feel like Wendy has been coming at you low-key crazy, but sis, you don't do yourself any favors. This whole acting like you're Karen's lapdog, all the theatrics, doing the absolute most over a text message, I was not feeling it whatsoever. So, with that being said, let's just jump right on into this recap because I have quite a lot to say and we don't have a minute to spare. We start this episode off with Miss Gizelle. She arrives at what looks like a studio. Her hairstylist / best friend Cal is there. We find out that Gizelle is there for a photo shoot that she's doing with Robin. The photo shoot is for their new podcast called Reasonably Shady. Robin is the reasonable one and Gizelle is the shady one. Gizelle lets it be known that her and Robin's work ethics are very different. She's a lot more focused, and we know that Robin is very go with the flow. It is what it is. She's a lot more lax about things. Gizelle makes a comment to say that she doesn't know how long this partnership is going to work. I'm not going to hold you. I just feel like it's a mistake sometimes to mix business and friendship together. I feel like you really have to know that you and your friend have the personality types to deal with the ups and the downs, that both of you guys can listen to constructive criticism if either one of y'all get on each other's nerves. I personally could see them potentially falling out over this podcast, especially with Gizelle pointing out how their work ethics are different. But I digress. So anyhow, Robin finally shows up. She is 32 minutes late. And if you know me, then you know chronic lateness is going to piss me off at every single turn. And now we see Gizelle and Cal just talking. They're discussing her relationship or pseudo-relationship or situationship, whatever you want to call this mess between Gizelle and Jamal Bryant. Anyhow, Gizelle is saying that she has needs and this whole being with the man 8 states away just isn't going to work for her. I'm going to keep it so real with y'all. Gizelle has about 2 more times to talk about Jamal again before I'm like, okay, girl, it's time to fast forward through your scenes. I'm finding it to be boring. Like, I never believed that their relationship or this rekindled romance was real in the first place. There was no chemistry, in my opinion, between them when he was on last season. But again, I digress. So Robin is dressed, she comes out to join them, and now the conversation turns to Mia. Gizelle informs Cal of how there's this new girl in the group and how she had her clit worked on. And Cal's like, wait, what? Again, this is why I wish Mia never said anything about it, because the way these ladies have been carrying on about her saying that is getting really annoying. Anyhow, they get off of that topic and they bring up the argument at Ashley's pamper party. So Robin and Gizelle come up with an idea to reach out to Mia and try to get to know her on their own without other people around. So Gizelle crafts a text and she's like, hey Mia, me and Robin would love to get to know you one-on-one. Let's get together for some drinks, but without Karen. Now, as you all know, this whole text message debacle gets blown way out of proportion. So then we see Gizelle in her confessional saying that she actually thinks that Mia is a pretty straightforward person and she's looking forward to getting to know her better. But child, we're going to see about that because it looks like Mia, Robin, and Gizelle are not off to the best start. So now we move on to Ashley and Michael. Y'all know I can't stand them. So any scene about them is always going to be a struggle to get through. But I digress. So they get to the restaurant, they sit down, they're ordering, and Ashley is asking Michael about his day. He's like, oh, my day was great, babe. I was working on all these deals and we secured a new deal. I'm going to be producing movies. So Michael's all excited about how he wants to get into the movie business. He's going on and on. He's all excited. Ashley was sitting there looking like, she was giving, Lord, please don't let this fool squander all of our money, because I have 2 babies and I am not trying to be in a tent under the bridge with Miss Sheila for the remainder of my life, okay? She was concerned about the well-being of her financial future. I said, Ashley, I hope you're saving these RHOP checks. That's all I'm going to say about that. So now we pivot on over to Miss Karen. She's at home cooking and she's FaceTiming her daughter. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I found this scene to be extremely boring. It gave very much a filler scene. And because of that, we can just move right on along. So now we get to the next scene with Mia. Mia is doing a walkthrough of one of her joint chiropractic franchises, because remember how her and her husband Gordon own about 14 of those franchises. So anyhow, she lets us know that she's a boss CEO. I said, if Mia calls herself a boss one more time, then I'm going to lose it. I don't know why, but I am finding that term to be so annoying and just so overused. Everybody and their mother thinks that they're a boss. I'm like, girls, what are y'all a boss of? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but does anybody else feel like that term is so overused? But anyhow, Mia also lets us know that she's the regional director and she makes sure that the business is moving like a well-oiled machine. She's talking to her employees, seeing how everything is going, and while she's talking to them, her phone rings. It's her oldest son, Joshua. He wants to know if she's going to be home in time to take him to his soccer practice. So she's like, well, are you okay with Daddy G, which is Gordon? Because remember that her oldest son is from her first marriage to her ex-husband. So she's like, are you okay with Daddy G taking you to practice? And he's like, I mean, I guess. So then Gordon hops on the phone and he's like, babe, this is your 3rd time promising Joshua that you would take him to practice. Like, he really enjoys the one-on-one time that y'all have together. So he's sort of making her feel bad. Mia's getting defensive. Gordon's like, stop getting defensive, Mia. I'm just telling you what it is. I personally felt like Gordon was doing a little bit much. I didn't like how he was making her feel worse. She already felt bad about not being able to take him for a 3rd time in a row. Gordon did not have to pile on. So now we move on to Robin. She's in the park with her trainer and she is about to start a good, intense workout. She lets us know that she gained 14 pounds and she wants that weight off. She says that before the pandemic hit, she used to be super active, like she was working out all the time, but now she's gotten lazy and she's trying to get better. So we see Ascale arrive for the workout and then we have Miss Wendy arrive. Now let me tell you something. Wendy showed up in that crisp Montclair. I said, okay, sis, I see you. So the ladies all start working out. The workout looked really good. I love a good kettlebell. That thing will have your arms so toned. Love it. And then they're also doing like the rope. Like, they were really getting it. I was like, okay, like that's a workout. The workout session ends and they all decide to go on a cute little walk. While they're walking, Candace calls Robin and Candace wants to invite them all to a peace out house pajama party. She says that she wants to commemorate her townhouse being sold and all the memories that she had in there. So Wendy, Robin, and Ascale are all like, sure, girl, we'll be there. Sounds good. Candace also lets it be known that she has invited Mia and Karen. You already know that Mia and Wendy have a little tension going on, so Wendy's not too thrilled. Robin doesn't care for Karen, and Ascali is new to the group, so she's kind of like, okay, you know, it is what it is, cool. Candace gets off the phone, and then the whole conversation starts off about Ashley's pamper party, and Robin wants to get to know what Ascali thought about what went down. Ascali says, I'm calling Mia Messy Mia because that girl is always in some mess. Like I said in last week's recap, I really like Ascali a lot. I think that she's going to give us something that we can feel. I like the energy that she brings. She has a beautiful family. Go check her IG out. And also, I definitely see her either replacing somebody come season 7, but I definitely believe that she is going to have a spot as a full-time cast member for the next season. Just my predictions, just my opinions, but I really like Ascali a lot. Robin brings up the text that Gizelle sent to Mia at their photo shoot a few days ago. Robin reads Mia's really nasty response to Ascali and Wendy, and they're both taken aback like, wait, what? And Mia's response was real nasty and just real extra for no reason. Mia's talking about, I have nothing to talk to you about unless it's about business, and I can link you with my assistant if you want. I was like, girl, you're doing the absolute most. There was no reason whatsoever to say, I'll link you with my assistant. I have nothing to talk to you about. Like, girl, just say, you know what, Gizelle, that was unnecessary for you to say that. Of course, I wouldn't bring Karen trying to get to know you guys over some drinks. I'll be there what time? That's all you need to say. But all this extra stuff, like, please miss me with it. Just like I told Wendy in the last 2 recaps, take it down a few notches. You're doing the most. It's not cute. We can all see right through it. It's very obvious when a newcomer is trying to solidify their spot for the following season. Robin then goes on to say how she responded back to Mia like, hey girl, like what's the deal? Were you offended by something? Like I'm just not understanding this super rude response. So Mia ignores Robin and is like, this message was directed towards Gizelle. So Robin then goes on to add how Mia is being misguided, being all up under Karen. But I'm not surprised. This is the formula for how it goes when a newcomer enters one of these casts. The newcomer will always try to align themselves with one of the OGs on the cast because they feel like that alignment will make sure that they are back for the following season. So I'm not surprised at Mia thinking that Karen is about to be her ticket into season 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. So now we see a parallel scene with Mia. Mia's at home and Karen comes over. They sit down to have some tea and hors d'oeuvres. And of course, the conversation about this text message heard around the world comes up. Mia goes on to say that she was really upset by Gizelle saying without Karen because nobody tells her who she can or can't hang out with. I said, I really hate when people play in our faces. That's not what Gizelle meant when she said without Karen. All Gizelle was saying was that please don't bring somebody that we do not like to our get-together for us to get to know you. That's it. That's all. The way Mia is trying to turn this into something that is not is really annoying. And Mia, you sounded so stupid talking about, and Gizelle can't tell me who not to bring. I was like, if somebody invites you to a party, an event, a housewarming, whatever, it's very rude and it's a very poor taste to bring somebody else. If I just invite you to go out, do not bring one of your other friends. And that's not being mean, but if I just want one-on-one time with you, please don't bring anybody else to our get-together, period. So Mia trying to act obtuse and act like somebody's telling her who not to be friends with and who she can or can't invite. Like, girl, you sound stupid. Yes, Gizelle was extra adding that little piece of without Karen, but at the end of the day, you're wrong for your response, and you're also wrong for trying to flip this into something that it's not. So anyhow, the scene ends and we move on to Candace. Candace is in the studio. She is excited about her new music. She's working on her newest song, Drive Back, And if you follow Candace, and you know that she released the video for it, and she has like the whole cast of RHOP in the video. Candace goes on to talk about how she really leans on her husband Chris and how much she loves him as her husbander. And all I could keep thinking was, girl, if Chris doesn't get back to being a chef and owning restaurants, then I know something. I don't believe in men managing their famous and rich wives' careers. He needs to have his own separate thing and his money, okay? He does not need to be worried about what his wife has going on. You see what Kelly Clarkson is going through? She has to pay that man $200,000 a month. A hot, raggedy mess. Candace, please listen. Take heed to the advice. Let Chris do his own thing, making his coin, and you get a manager who's not your husband, okay? Because it doesn't work. So now we move on to Gizelle. It is the big day. Grace is about to take her learner's permit test for the third time, and Gizelle and Giselle's twin daughters are excited because they are ready for Grace to get on the road and start driving. They get to the DMV, Gizelle walks Grace in, and then Gizelle goes back into the car and she's talking to her twin daughters. They're waiting for the results. Grace comes back into the car, and when I tell you, I thought that Grace was joking. Grace was like really sad, and Giselle's like, okay, Grace, like you passed, right? And even the twins were like, Grace, like you passed, like, you know, come on, Grace, stop joking. Baby, my heart dropped. Grace failed the test yet again, and she is pissed. She does not want to talk to her sisters, doesn't want to talk to Gizelle, like she just is over it. When I tell you I felt so bad for Grace, like that really brought me back to when I was a teenager. I remember doing really well and passing the written test to get my permit, but when it came to the driving test, I failed the driving test to get my license the first time. Baby, the way I had the nastiest instructor, and she was so infamous that everybody knew that if you got her, she was automatically going to fail you. So I remember the day like it was yesterday, honey. I was trying to make sure that another car got her, and when she came to my car and tapped on the window, and my mom got out of the passenger seat, and she was like, okay, you know, drive. And baby, I mean, I didn't even get to go all the way down the street. And she was like, no, like, you know, too fast or whatever. Your hand wasn't on the wheel the right way. And the way she just failed me, and I was crying so hard. I mean, I was just sobbing. And if you guys know me, then you know that I am the biggest crybaby. So the way I was crying, I mean, my whole day was ruined. I was just so pissed. I mean, I passed the driving test the second time though, okay? The dog can drive, and she can drive really well, but Grace, please know that I felt your pain, okay? I have to say, it feels like you go through such hoops sometimes to get your license, and then when you finally get it, it's like, oh, okay, like, it shouldn't have taken me all this. But my heart really did go out to her because I was like, oh, I know how that is. And then as a teenager, you just feel like this is the worst thing in the world, so Grace, you gonna get through this, mama, okay? Now we get to the scene that everybody has been waiting for, and that is the night of Candace's pajama party. Candace is excited. She has her chefs over. The spread looks amazing. Her first guest arrives, and it is Miss Karen. The rule of the night is everybody who walks in the door has to take a shot of Fireball. We all know that Fireball is one of Karen's little favorite drinks, and the way Karen was trying to act so demure, acting like, well, I can't take this, I need some food first. I said the way Karen loves to play in our faces at every single turn. I said, girl, you were sitting up there taking 5 Fireball shots last season at you-know-who's lake house, because you know I refuse to say her name, but I digress. The doorbell rings again. It's Robin. She takes a shot of Fireball. She's ready to go. And then she sees Miss Karen sitting there, and she's just like, ugh. Of course, Karen can't help herself. She's already asking Robin about her and Juan. I said, Karen, I understand you don't like Robin. I understand you enjoy pissing her off at every single turn. But sis, Robin and Juan's relationship should not be on your mind as heavy as it is. I said the girl didn't even sit down and you're asking her about, are they getting married? Are they going to go to the justice of the peace? It was like, girl, can you stop? And you really see that Karen really is a woman of a certain era because she really puts a lot of stock into a woman being married. Like, that is a very big deal to her. And I've said it before, she really sort of weaponizes her marriage to the women in the group who aren't married or aren't even dating anybody. Like, she really just acts like a man validates a woman, and it's very annoying. But I digress. So then Karen starts talking about her vow renewal. I'm like, girl, I feel like you and Ray are only doing this so that you can have a storyline for this season. And I was cracking up when Robin was like, if Karen wants to have a super spreader event to prove that she still loves Ray's penis, then so be it. Gizelle arrives and she has on the multicolored Versace robe. She takes a shot of Fireball. Of course, her and Karen do not greet each other, and Karen throws some shade talking about a hater just walked in a fake Technicolor robe. I said, now sis, you would be able to spot a fake because you rock a lot of fake stuff too. Les Q last season with the fake Fendi, and then seasons 1 through 4. But I digress. So Giselle's there and she goes on to ask Candace if Ashley's coming. Candace is like, oh, you know, I forgot to invite her because I just figured that she would be already giving birth. Like, I didn't think to invite her. Here's my thing. If you know that me and a certain person do not get along, stop making jokes about, did you invite them? Why aren't they coming? Like, don't do that. You know that me and this person don't see eye to eye. We're not friends. So stop asking me about them. And I really want them to stop acting like Candace is in the wrong for not liking Ashley or wanting to be Ashley's friend. I just don't understand this amnesia that goes on when it comes to Ashley. She's just a nasty individual. And I really want them to stop acting like Candace needs to invite her or make peace or extend some olive branch. She tried to extend some grace to Ashley last season. It didn't work. Ashley went against her, siding with old girl. And while they're talking about Ashley not being invited, we do see a short scene with Ashley saying that her water broke and she's fixing Dean some breakfast before she goes to the hospital. So now we cut back to Candace's pajama party and Wendy arrives and Ascali arrives. Everybody's oohing and ahhing Wendy because Wendy has a set and she has the girls out. The way Wendy is determined to not let us forget that she got a brand new body in every single episode, I said, I mean, listen, she paid good money for it, so if she wants to show it off at every single turn, then so be it. I'd rather Wendy show off her new body than to hear her say Zen when and give rehearsed reads. So, of course, the BS gets started. The whole topic about this text message that Gizelle sent Mia gets brought up. Karen wants to know, like, what's T, sis? I heard that you had said something about, and don't bring Karen. Gizelle says, Karen, that's not how it went down. I wasn't being shady whatsoever. I just said that I want to get to know her without you being there. That's it, that's all. You don't have to put any extra stank on it. So speak of the devil, Mia finally arrives, and I was screaming because when she got there, Gizelle and Robin were looking at her like, girl, we about to tear you all the way up because you're sitting up here spreading lies and twisting the whole story around. So Karen says, I heard about this whole text fiasco, and honestly, I feel like the wording was improper on both sides. Mia automatically starts backpedaling and she hits them with, look, I own that I was aggressive and I'm going to try to work on that. I said, now girl, where was all this energy in the text message? Because like I said earlier, all you had to do was just call Gizelle if you had felt some sort of way when you got that text. So Escalade jumps in and says, look, I don't mean to interject, but I just think that Mia was really rude. So Mia claps back with, Escalade, how many businesses do you own? I was like, girl, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Robin and Gizelle also jump in like, girl, what does that have to do with anything? They all start going at it, and Candace is like, y'all, can we please just get along? So she's like, let's just all play some games and chill out. They start playing Prosecco Pong, which is a lot of fun, by the way. And we see Mia pull Gizelle to the side, and she's like, I think that we got started on the wrong foot. I'm not trying to come at you. Can we start over? And the way Gizelle was not having it, she was like, we did not start off on the wrong foot. Like, you're the one who started everything. Mia says, I'll try to be better. And the way Gizelle was not here for it, she was like, don't ever pull that shit again. Like, don't ever try me like that at all. Now, the way I am in shock that this is the second time that I was in agreement with Miss Gizelle, because I'm the same way. Don't ever come for me, and I am a tough person when it comes to forgiving people. I struggle with it, all right? That is like one of my biggest flaws, weaknesses, whatever you want to call it. If you come for me, if I feel slighted in any way, the way I will probably not forgive you and hold a grudge, like, yeah. So I felt her when she was like, don't ever pull that again. The way that I would have given Mia my behind to kiss, I would have told Mia, girl, I have nothing to say to you. We don't have to talk. I don't like you. It's done. It's clipped. It's curtains. I'll see you when I see you on these cast trips and group events, but I got nothing for you. So the ladies finished Prosecco Pong, and now it is time to play another game, which is Never Have I Ever. I said, child, I just feel like that game is a nosy and judgmental person's dream. I feel like nobody past college age should still be playing Never Have I Ever. Like, to be really honest with you, I just feel like it's just a way to get into people's business, and all the questions are always sexual, drug-related, sexual. So anyhow, the first question is, never have I ever done ecstasy? And everybody's looking around like, no ma'am. And the way that Wendy and Karen accidentally took a sip of their drinks, and they were like, wait, girls, what? So Wendy was like, wait, so we take a sip if we haven't done something or if we have? They're all like, if you have done something. So Wendy was like, oh, okay, like, never mind, you know, that was a mistake. And Karen was like, you know, same here, like, we ain't never touched a drug. So then I think it's Candace or someone else says, never have I ever gotten my clit done. And of course, Mia's cheering and she takes a sip. She's like, you know, that's me, girl. Like, that's all me. And then she says, well, the correct term is vaginal rejuvenation. So then Robin is like, girl, we're so confused. Like, which one is it? Vaginal rejuvenation or you got that done? And she's like, no, vaginal rejuvenation. So then Wendy's like, does Mia not know about her own anatomy? Why would you say you got your clit done when you really didn't get that done? I feel like not only is Mia insincere, but I just feel like she says a lot of stuff for shock value. I feel like, why couldn't you have just told the truth and just said it was vaginal rejuvenation in the first place? So then Candace says, never have I ever had a threesome. Nobody takes a sip except for Mia yet again. Candace is squealing like, oh my gosh, girl, like, please spill. I want to hear all the dirty details to this. Mia says that it was a threesome with her current husband, herself, and another woman. She then goes on to add that she didn't want the other lady touching her, but she just wanted to watch. So she enjoyed herself watching her husband and the other woman have sex. I personally do not believe that she was just sitting there watching her husband and the other woman have sex. I mean, maybe she was, and she is telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Something tells me she was getting it in with the other woman as well. But that's Mia's story. she's sticking to it, and they're all intrigued. So we end the episode with Ashley. She's super emotional. She's crying about how it's no longer going to be just one baby, it's going to be two, and her and Michael are headed to the hospital. So y'all, that was the episode. That was my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and you already know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.